that I'm working on. This one is like I started working on it for my sister. She asked me to make a sculpture for her, and so what I did was that started working on it. At first, she told me she wanted a goat, and now I think she told me pretty much she wanted a deer. So I think it was a ram at first, which is a sheep, you know. So I mean, because this was a Billy goat and a Jenny goat is a anyway. So I'm gonna make another creature. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a ram. Okay. So this here is a goat. I'm gonna make a ram. So on my dash, I've made other things already. But make this here for the story. So what happens is this, ladies and gentlemen. Today is Friday, and today I have actually um, a thing I'll be at tonight. I was invited back in a Memorial Day to go and speak and to set up my art at a table. And the table I'll be setting my art up in is over in, go a little bit further away. So the table I'll be setting my art up in is going to be like over in like I think a hill, or it's going to be in an ozone park. And anyway, so what happens is that I get a chance to have a table from 5 o'clock to um, 5 o'clock to 10 o'clock tonight. And so what I'm gonna do is that I am gonna quickly make a sculpture because I have several sculptures that I'm working on right now. And so one of the ones that I'm working on is for a client, and it's like pretty much I'm looking forward to just kind of getting this one done, that one done, because it's like it's a lot of work, and it was good because I made one before, so now I'm actually making another one. So this one here for my sister, I'm gonna make a really cool ram. So I'm gonna just kind of lower the neck a little bit because rams have the cool ram horns. So I'm gonna do the ram horns like that, and see if I can just go ahead and just do that real quick while we're talking straight here. So what's going on in New York? New York has been well lately. The weather is actually pretty nice right now. Last week this week. I had to wait for the Canadian person to show up, and they showed up, and so now it's like pretty much I got a chance to talk with them a little bit, but it was like I spent like forever waiting for them. I started like around 9 o'clock, and I waited and waited and waited till they show up, and that was a whole day given to making just making art. And so I was working on two of the lurkeys and the Murloc creatures from World of Warcraft. Anyway, so why I'm telling you this is because I'm just like letting you see that pretty much pretty much I can sculpt, and as I'm sculpting I'm able to do stuff. It looks like it wants to rain. I'm not sure if it does rain. I'm just not gonna go tonight. I'm gonna call the guy and tell him I'm not gonna go. But and because I'll go driving and do some DoorDash instead. Because what happens is that today is Friday, and everybody knows. Well, I know that Friday is the worst day for DoorDash because whenever you drive, it's like everybody else is driving on Friday because everybody else worked their regular jobs on the weekdays, and they come out to get them extra money. And so that means that anybody who's a regular dasher, they have to compete with those who are already, dashing. So how I combat that is that I actually drive late at night. But lately, it's been garbage driving late at night because what has happened is that there is like no orders, and the weather's been just right, so people have been going out and partying, which is good, because I mean, like before the city was on lockdown. Remember that when they had the city lockdown? That was crazy. I remember that. Anyway, so what happened is that as I'm sitting here making this creature here, I'm just kind of thinking about like how difficult it was to go anywhere. Actually, it wasn't actually difficult to go anywhere. You had to find out places to go, and when you go to places, you're able to make sense because what happens is that as you're going out, you have a scenario where you get a chance to go all over the place, and so it's one of the things about like having this type of thing where you're able to just find ways to make money through your art and through your business because what happens is you're able to do some really cool details. Yeah, yeah, this is good stuff. And so what happens is that as we are working on making this stuff, we are trying to let's see. We're gonna make a ram. So ram's horn. I'm gonna make it like this. And so I'm gonna make the ram's horn like that. Okay, gonna make it curve forward and stuff because ram's horns are cool, so cool. See, like on my dashboard, I have a bunch of pictures. So anyway, so the reason why I'm saying this is like we were able to go to different places, so we went out into different places. You had to find places that would accept you. See, if you don't have a place that accepts you, then you're not able to go anywhere, and then you're kind of at the mercy of whatever people say. Anyway, long story short, one thing I found out was I found out recently that our society in New York, we're being bombarded. We have a lot of people being added to the city every day. Okay, and it's not because of they're coming in. They're coming in like under with no information to them. They're coming in with no guards, with no precepts, with no understanding. And so what happens is that you have entire communities that nobody speaks English, or nobody speaks, the current ruling powers language. So what happens is that you eventually get to a point where you have a whole society of people who develop their own jobs and develop their own work and stuff. And what happens is eventually you get placed out. So it's like they become the majority, and it's like, so you start dealing with things. You start wondering, like, okay, well, if other group of people become the majority, then they could start doing stuff. Like, for example, something's been happening in our neighborhood, right? What I've noticed, there's this thing of a parking type thing is going on, where people save each other's spots. And so what has happened is that at first it was like a minute, very very not noticeable. It was like one of those things where not that many people were doing it, because the nature is that you want to definitely not take up all the spots for your neighbors. I mean, your neighbors live here too, and you want to make sure that you're not, like, just taking up spots that are more than you. And what ended up happening is that people started saving spots, and people would actually park in between spots. And so when I saw that, I was like, oh my goodness. So then you try to talk to the neighbors about that, and eventually it's like, they'll tell you something or something. But, it's like, because I come back around 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning after driving, and it's really difficult to find parking. So where I live, I have to walk many, many, many blocks. And so it's not safe or anything, but it's also, I mean, you're starting to see that all over the neighborhood, everybody's saving spots. People putting, like, either they put cones or vehicles, or they park in two spots. And oh my goodness, I'm making a warthog. Started like a warthog. Warthog. Oh, I gotta keep rotating the thing, because it's supposed to be on top of the head. Yeah, okay, here it goes. If you keep rotating it more, it goes into becoming a ram's horn. Okay, so here goes this. Yeah, see, so there it goes. If you just keep it going, right? So this is how I do it. Is at first I make it, and then I what do you call it? I improve it. So okay, so it looks like it wants to rain. Oh my goodness, it is raining. Yep, it's raining now. So okay, so if it's raining, that kind of changes the dynamic, because I'm not sure where I'm going to be. And so they've been saying all week it's going to rain. But I mean, don't let rain stop you. I mean, I have a tent and stuff like that, and masking tape is waterproof. It's just a matter of me putting myself out there to struggle. Anyway, so what's happened is that so far I got this part of the ram, and you can see the ram, and I hit the goat. So I'm going to make a ram. And incidentally, what you do is that you just reinforce it. It's not as difficult as it seems, because I mean, the way I do stuff, it's just, I can make something very simple, very complex. But what happens is that you are able to make something if you just keep at it. Don't give up. Just keep adding to it. The simplicity of it all is that if you just don't give up, you can make anything. Really, you can really make anything. And what happens is, like, you're able to right now. So I'm making this goat here and working on this creature. And so my whole thought is, see, I don't know, you can see, because I mean, like, the sheep and the goats are so similar, but for the most part, you have this thing where, you have it where the thing is, you're looking at the scenario where all these things are like, and try to figure out what's the best way to do. So I mean, like, make this. I'm gonna make the head bigger, wider, bigger. So you think about when you do live, you can't, like, pause it. So it's like you're constantly, like, wondering, should I pause it? And I mean, it's really raining now. Okay, so I'm gonna make a hulking ram for my sister. Hulking. So okay, so I'm gonna keep rotating that. I don't know if you can actually see me. So it's like, here's this, right? Like this, and like this, and there's that. Like crazy ram. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead and add more details. Okay, you know what thing is, I have to finish my sister's art project, and I have to finish my finish my sister's art, and I gotta finish the commission project that I'm working on. So I know I'm just kind of rambling, but okay, let's just go ahead and talk something. The other day I was doing a live, and I was talking about Psychonauts, the game Psychonauts. I'm not gonna do that today. What I could do, actually, we listen to the radio song if you want to do that. So I listened to 570 AM. I also listened to it. I listened at night too. There's a Pastor Ernie Sanders, and he's a pretty cool, interesting person. I mean, you listen to him. He's out of Ohio. He's like my only pastor, because, like, I have stories to tell you about that. One day I'll tell you all the details. But for the most part, though, what happens is like as we're working on this, I'm just kind of telling you the details about like this stuff here. But for the most part, though, this is this ram, this ram, this ram that I'm working on. It's for my older sister. My older sister has been my older sister all my life. Yes, that's true. That's how it works. There's never a point where she became younger than me. Okay, she's always been my older sister. And so she always gave me these challenges. My older sister was the one who got me into dinosaurs. And she one time went to Museum of Natural History, came back with a dinosaur, and I was like, wow. I remember watching a Christopher Reeve have a dinosaur thing, a claymation, and the dinosaur, they had a Troodon, and they had all these creatures, and they talked about their asteroid that destroyed everything, and yabba dabba doo, and I don't believe that. So what I believe that they died in a flood, and the Noahic flood, the Genesis flood, that that made the Grand Canyons. Because what happened? The water can eat rock, no problem. It's like plants can eat rock, no problem. Anyway, so take care. Have a good day. See you now. So what happens is like I am making a goat. So you have the goat's head, ram's head, ram's horn. I'm gonna curl it some more, and bring it in closer. Oh man, what to do for rams? I don't think they're gonna cancel the whole day's thing because of a little rain. I mean, it has to be like downpour, torrential rain for them to cancel it. Sometimes that's the thing, we are going to camp soon, and we have got to make as much green paper as possible. But the Bible says not to worry about that. It says not to worry about things of like it says, are you not more valuable than these? The sparrows know, the animals know, all these different creatures know. But the thing is, like he says, are you not more valuable than these? So what it means is that, you have value to God, and God knows that you have need for food and clothing and shelter. He knows that. And so it's back to food, clothing, and shelter. One of the things, like, you think about the government, every time the government comes to help somehow, they don't really help. They just make things worse, The government has this knack to just really mess things up, So, I mean, I don't know, man. It's some kind of weird conundrum or sorts. It's just deciding to just sabotage everything all the time. Sabotage everything all the time. And what I mean by sabotage is like every time they come to help something, they just make it worse. If they come in and give you a helping hand, they turn it into something. It's like remember when I used to work in a job, and they said if they catch you cleaning the table at the conference room, then you got a new job. It was always that stay away, don't let the boss see you doing extra work kind of thing. I mean, there's an aspect where you're going to go work and do your best at your job, and that's good because the Bible says we're kind of like we're not supposed to do stuff for people to see us, and we're supposed to do it for the glory of God, right? So that's that. But it's also like how to give yourself more work is by doing work and then let your boss see you do that work that's not outside of your grade. They'll be like, oh, wait, and that's not out of your grade, but out of your what you're supposed to do, out of your job description. So what happens is like if you go ahead and you go ahead and do something. Let's say you go ahead and you clean the conference room or you clean the kitchen at your job or the thing, and your boss sees you that. Two things might happen. One thing might happen is that they might give you a raise, or two, they might give you a new job and no raise, which is more like the other one. They might give you a new job and no raise. So what ends up happening is you end up working, and they say, well, we need conference room A clean, conference room B clean, we need conference room C clean, and then you start having to do that because you were just so lucky enough to be a nice person to where you're going to go ahead and do this thing and really just help out your fellow man at your job, and now you have a new job on top of the job you already have. They might give you a reward later, several months down the line after you clean the conference room like 100 times. They might say, what a good job, thank you so much for always keeping the conference room and the kitchen clean. So you have this. Oh my goodness, it's so raining. Alright, I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do. Alright, so it's like right now it's like 1 o'clock, right? And I have to go start getting ready because I figured I'd be there by 3 o'clock. So, I mean, it's kind of like just rain. Lord, thank you for the rain. Oh, look, my battery's running low too. Well, the good news is that I'm this far in with the RAM. So let's see if I could just perfect it. I'm going to give him some hulking legs, okay? Give this ram some hulking legs. So how we're going to do that is that we're going to go ahead and give the ram, let's see, going to make the legs all nice and big and bulbous, right? And how we're going to do this, it's like this. I'm going to make us really see it's like this, right? So you have this here. and we're gonna go ahead and add just the tail. Right, so you have the front legs, right? We're gonna add the back legs. It is really raining, folks. Really, really raining. Yeah, I realized I haven't eaten breakfast either, John. I gotta go eat some breakfast. Well, I had something to eat. I was like pretty much had like what did I eat? An orange? I think I ate orange. Okay, but I gotta go figure out. Oh my goodness, it's rain. You can see the rain. You can hear the rain. Yeah. Okay, so here I go with this one. So first, in order for you to make something bulbous, you have to have some kind of like a landscape for it to work for. So you have the detail there. So when battery goes low, I'm gonna have to yank the Bluetooth out of my ear and go ahead and just have to speak live, I guess. But until then, let's go ahead and just keep working. So yeah, so you have the back legs and the front legs. So right there, work on the front legs. So anyway, so what I've been talking about is about our society, our New York, and how New York has been crazy. But I was talking also about my sister and how my sister got me dinosaurs, and how I would listen to this Christopher Reeve stuff, and I also talked about how there's oh, my cool neighbors are back. They're so cool. I have a bunch of cool neighbors. The neighbors, I mean, we've lived with them by them for so long that we've actually learned so much from them, and they're very, very helpful. They're very kind people, and it's just like you have a lot of new people coming into our neighborhood that we just don't know, and they don't, just I don't know. It's weird, you can't make people think about you. You can't make people think about who you are or what you do. All you can do is be yourself, because people are gonna think whatever, and most of the time people don't think. Like they have that movie. It says in maybe one of my favorite lines in Zorro. I tell the kids this all the time. We watch it. In Zorro Part 2, there's a part where she says to him, he's like, no, it's I think that this and this. He says, no, 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 Alejandro, because you do not think. And it is. She said that so well, because like we laugh so much because only a married couple who've been married for so long would say something like that. Because I remember, like, in the courtship stages, people are just like, they're able to laugh and they're afraid and put things up. But somebody who knows somebody for so many years, right? They can say something like that and it lands so well. It says, no, 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 it's because you do not think. And I thought about that. So anyway, so that's that part. So most people don't think about you because most people don't think at all. And that's the thing. Most people are not thinking about anything. So when they're actually thinking about, so you got this thing, the goats and the rams. And the goats have like the big old like it has the bulge on its back. It kind of goes up and over. So what we're going to do is this is going to go ahead and make it go up and over. Because like a mountain goat. Big barn. Wow, it's really raining. Oh my goodness, I have to close the window. And it's sunny too. You see that? It's like sunny and raining at the same time. I love it when it's sunny and raining. It's like sun showers, they call it. Sun showers. New York has some good stuff to it. New York has some good parts to it where, I mean, when you live in a place for a while, you get to know your neighbors. That's one. Two, it's like you get to know where the shops are. You get into a habit, and especially if you're driving DoorDash or you're working, the clientele. You know who we're going to be able to reach. Okay, my car's going to get stuck. I don't want to close the window because it's so nice and it's so cool right now. Oh my goodness. Okay, so here we go with this one, right? So I'm just like, I gotta like just give more details because sheep have short legs, and sheep have short, stocky, powerful legs. So how I'm doing this is a matter of twisting and making it go forward and backwards. And he says, the Bible says all we like sheep, and it is true. Sometimes people say like they're not a sheep, but we are sheep, and we will worship whoever has the loudest voice. So one of the things that you think about is like make sure that you listen to the voice of the good shepherd, because the good shepherd, he loves his sheep. He gives himself for his sheep. Let's see, so there's that. Okay, so you have it like this. This is what I got so far, right? Okay, now I got more details to add to it. I'm gonna make the legs a little bit longer. Alright, so if you want to make anything bulky and to bulge it up, what you gotta do, you have to take it like so, and you have to add more details to it. See, sculpting is not that hard, but it's like you have to have it in your mind what you want to do. See, you just can't sculpt something that's, you have to kind of think it through, and then you sculpt. But it's like you sometimes it depends on the day, really, because if you are, what's that word? If you don't have a reference in your mind already, you have to write one down. You have to make it so people can see it, or that you can see it, and then That's really good when you want to teach a class because people can see what you're thinking. I'll never forget, once you have a class, never forget that people cannot see what's inside your head. They cannot see unless you tell them. They can read your face. They could do all these things, but they can't really tell what's inside your head. They can guess what's inside your head until you open your big fat mouth and tell people what you're thinking. Nobody knows what you're thinking. Even a devil doesn't know what you're thinking. He's a good guesser at what people can do, but he's not. He's not the kind of person or kind of entity, I guess, who would understand, who could read your mind. People talk about the whole clairvoyance thing, and I talk about that a lot. I always say that if Adam and Eve were psychic, they would have seen the future, and they would have been like, nah, snake, we ain't eating that thing. But instead, they ate from it. Because they ate from it, here we are today. So, but the thing is that the Bible says, it's like, we are people redeemed. We are people redeemed. Now, people redeemed means that, you have this thing where you are made in God's image, and as you're made in God's image, you are made for His glory, and pretty much we're made for His glory, made for His image, and we get to choose Him. It's one thing. Animals don't choose God. They can't choose to disobey God. They can't choose to accept Him. They worship Him because He made them, and that's the only choice they have. An angel can actually choose to worship God or not. The Bible says angels can make a decision, but angels, because of the way they are, they are not able to be redeemed or forgiven because they decide to go against God. So you have that. The next one is that you have it where it's like you have where when people we have ability, not that we should, but we have sinned, and when we sin against God, we have the ability to be we can be forgiven, but it's at a great cost. The cost was that Jesus had to die, for our sins. And so that's why it says, we like sheep, all of us, we all like sheep have gone astray. And it's like we are made to worship. We were actually made to worship God. That's our primary focus. Our primary objective is to worship the one who made us. But then what happens? We end up worshiping things and the creation and creatures and and wisdom and education and stuff. We look for that and we worship that. When in fact it's like the bottom line is that we're not supposed to worship those things. We're supposed to worship the things that worship the one who made everything, Him and Him alone. Not supposed to just worship like creatures, because as a matter of fact, it's like I make a thing. I say I don't make Jesus in masking tape. The reason is because I don't want people to worship my masking tape art in that sense. I don't want it to worship it at all, because it's just a thing I'm using to make something. I'm not looking at this as my salvation or anything like that. These are just little things that I can make, and pretty much I can show you how to make them too. But the bottom line is like it's one of those things where it's not. To be an idol, you have to worship it. To be an idol is where you put your. Oh, there's a crack. There's a crack in the armor. Oh my goodness! I just noticed that. I'm looking at the front of my house, and I'm looking at these pillars. And one of the pillars looks like it's cracked, and it's like I hope it looks cracked. And that'd be something there. Like I can't really show you, but it looks like there's like a crack line that goes like a fracture line. How's that? A fracture line that goes from the front to the other side, and it looks like maybe people are pushed up against it or something. I gotta show the kids that. That thing has been there forever. It looks off kilter, like it's. Oh my goodness! It really looks like it's broken. I have to go and take a look at that. It's actually interesting. I'm looking at the front of it, and it looks like there's a crack line all the way through. I wonder if it's like just a crack in the paint, or is it actually? The mind plays tricks on you, and really, honestly, there are things that happen that you start seeing things, you begin to wonder, like, oh my goodness, is this really happening? Is this thing breaking? And I hope not, because that's one of those things where you just don't want anything to break. You want it to last forever. You want everything to last forever. That's eternal life and eternity, man. Everyone wants to live forever. Nobody wants to have a thing where it passed away, where it dies. And so, all right. So this is what I got so far. I just got to do a little bit more to it. This goat's about the same as this sheep. Now I think that I got to look for some more. Like here's the front view of it, right? And here's the horns. I got to put some seal on it to keep it from coming undone. But for the most part, though, let me see. What I'm gonna do, I'm going to just add some more things, and I have to get ready for tonight. I gotta find out more details about it, whether or not it's still on, and I gotta proceed from there. I have to go get ready. Right now, it's almost 2 o'clock, so I gotta like just do some stuff. But as always, just be on your guard about stuff. Just we are having a thing in the park tomorrow, and I hope it doesn't rain tomorrow because we really need the green paper as well as we need the influence and the classes because everything is crunch time. We soon will be going to camp, and just knowing that this is one of those things that if we don't do this soon, you won't have enough to make the trip. I mean, we could make the trip. Just definitely, if you guys would like to support us anyway, definitely, you can please feel free to give us a super chat. That helps us a lot, really. I'm so close to the threshold on my super chat. I've been working on it for so many years, and then I got demonetized for like 2 years, and then so I had to kind of pause it. But now it's almost back to where I'm at the point where if you would like to give a super chat, please do so. Any amount is great, and I give you a shout out. Also, I wanted to let you know my Patreon account is functional. I got my Patreon up and running, and then on my Instagram, One Life Must Art, I put a thing out about my classes. I have classes that are physical classes where I'm actually going to be teaching tomorrow, and I also have digital classes and class notes that are on DVD. Where you can actually read from the DVD and get the DVD and put it in your computer, and from there you can do all this stuff as well. You can do all of the art and learn how to make a sheep in your house, or learn how to make a goat, or learn how to make people. And so this is kind of a really fun thing to be able to do. I mean, I'm just again, I love the fact that I have this ability, and and I hope to teach you how to do it too. And I mean, I've been doing this for a number of years now. So you see how I've gotten so far. See, so if you just know the basic physiology of certain things, you can actually, you know, goat versus sheep versus goat. So you're able to do a lot of stuff. So anyway, I'm almost there with regards to what I'm doing. I'm going to go ahead and just finish up this goat. I gotta make the legs a little longer because I feel like the goat's leg is too short, but I gotta make it more stocky. I feel like I want to make it a stocky goat, stocky sheep, stocky ram, so its horns to get caught in the thicket. But anyway, so that's that. Roll it. You have this here. This is the ram, and I gotta add more details to it. I'm gonna make its mouth a little bit smaller because I think the sheep's mouth doesn't open as wide as how I have it for the ram. So I'm gonna put a little muzzle on it like so, like this. There you go. So you see, it's starting to form up even more. And I think they have a bigger nose. The nose goes up. Their big nose. I'm gonna go and get something to eat, but not yet. Before I do that, I just want to say, pretty much just pray for New York City. New York City is filled with filled with a lot of people, and we are run by idiots. Serious, our officials are crazy, and they just want to destroy us. They don't really. I mean, I don't know if it's a government thing always. I would think that the government people would they back in the day. Remember when you look in the scriptures and you talk about leaders and what a pastor is supposed to be and all that, and the elders and everything, and how they're supposed to be like respectful people. And you got these guys who are leading. They're just leading because they want the power, and because they want the power, they're doing all kind of wickedness to us. And I don't like that. I really don't like that. I don't think anybody likes it, but it's like sometimes we just go along with it because it's so easy just to go along with stuff. And not like I'm saying we can't do anything. We can't do anything anyway. We can't do anything in terms of no, we shouldn't do anything crazy. No, nothing violent. No, we should do things by the law. But when they throw out your ability to speak, or they doctor up your votes, or they go out of their way just to make you, you just asking for trouble because what happens is that you just stress the people out. And so, they talk about all the different things regarding what a person can and cannot do. Like Jack Sparrow says that what a man can do and what a man can't do. See, now he telling that to to William Turner when he was on the ship. He says your dad was a pirate. We can't change that. Okay, whether or not you like it, believe it or not, you can't change it. Your dad was a pirate. Then he says pretty much what I can't do. What you can do, you can be angry about it, or you can go do something about it. So it's like do something. Well, we are to vote, and we are to reach out and get chapters in our neighborhood to get people to understand what the Constitution is about and why they're taking advantage of us because our school system is a joke. and the whole world knows it, and that's why we have to teach our own kids and teach ourselves. Anyway, so this is where I'm at, and this is what I'm doing. I'm gonna finish this grandma. So, alright, so I should actually finish the goat too, by the way. Because like what I did, I put it in my car, so it's actually in the car. I have them, you know. But anyway, so definitely, if you would like, you can actually write me something in the chat, and I would love to, just answer some of your questions, or, that would be great. Just say hey or hello or something, and then I could respond to that, because otherwise I'm gonna just keep talking about stuff. So listen up. I'm at the point where I'm I'm at 30 minutes, and I made a nice goat, goat nice sheep with the horns that kind of bend outwards. I'm gonna kind of wrap it in some, make it like go forward more. It's like almost like a Rocky Mountain longhorn sheep. Let's make this. Okay, that you got a little roundy thing, the sheep's horns. Mm-hmm. I got a little sheep head over there. So the goat's like and then sheep's like the sheep and the goats. The Bible says that you can't. It's hard to tell a sheep and a goat together when they're apart from each other. And it says the Bible says God's going to separate the sheep from the goats. All right. So anyway, I just want to say thank you so much for watching. I'm going to stop here for now. I have a lot of things I got to do and get ready for tonight. Anyway, long story short, I'm just going to say God bless you. Thank you for watching and have a good night. Please like and subscribe to my channel. All right. Talk to you later. More videos to come. All right. So peace and God bless. All right. Bye.